right now on 5 on your side at 10.
A drowning investigation at Rockford Beach. A body recovered from the water this afternoon. What we're learning from authorities. New efforts to crack a Lincoln County cold case.
It's just time for a change. It's time for some answers.
The mother of Arlen Henderson on the renewed search for her son.
A lot of us had a few storms this morning that were very loud, and we're going to see the potential again for storms on Sunday. But it's two different rounds. Why this one's a little bit different, and when we're expecting the best opportunity for severe weather.
Thanks for joining us at 10 tonight. I'm Brent Solomon. We begin in weather alert as more severe weather could put a damper on your Sunday plans. Let's get right over to meteorologist Gary Frank now with your weather first forecast. Gary, when are we expecting these storms?
Well, good evening, Brent. I think we're going to see a few rounds of storms. Once again, overnight, maybe early morning for some of us, but this will be much quieter. So I want to prepare you because I don't think that there's going to be severe weather in the overnight hours like there was for some of us this morning. But I think it's the second round and how the first round plays out. Let's explain this right now as we show you that round that moved through earlier this morning. It's quiet outside right now. Let's look in central Kansas. This is not severe. This is a big blob. This is a big mess of rain, and you know it's moving pretty slowly. It's here in central Kansas, really south on 35, and that's how quickly does that move here? If that moves here slowly and doesn't get here till around midday, well, we're not going to see a best opportunity for storms, but if it moves here a little sooner, we can actually clear out in time. And it's those little ingredients that we're going to follow here as temperatures are still pretty warm right now. It's 80 degrees, but it's not quite as humid. It actually has gotten much less humid than it was during the day. Patchy fog around overnight. I think for the most part we stay dry, but the next 24 hours, we're going to watch for another round of storms hanging around overnight off to our west. It's when does it get here? I think the earlier we start with them and have a break during the day, that could really add to our severe weather threat. We're going to time out the most specific areas that I think that are going to recover or not see that early rain. That'll allow us for our secondary rain and pinpoint some of those main threats.
Gary, stay close. So you can stay on top of your weather first forecast. Text the word weather to 314-425-5355. Tonight, a mother's desperate plea for answers. It's been 32 years since her 11-year-old son, Arlen Henderson, disappeared in Lincoln County. Now detectives have fresh eyes on this cold case. Justina Cornell spoke to the boy's mother, who says she won't give up.
This one, yeah, we had a few rewards. This is one of the first ones.
For 32 years.
Age progression is 3/6/2007.
It's been a search for her son. Debbie Henderson Griffith holds on to a missing persons flyer as she holds on to hope.
I mean, the family kept on. We never gave up.
In the summer of 1991, her then 11-year-old boy, Arlen Henderson, rode his bike near his home in Moscow Mills. He never returned home.
After that, Arlen's bike was found about 11 weeks later, 5 miles away from his home. And since then, there haven't been many clues.
Then after a while, I think everybody got tired.
Time has taken its toll.
I don't think I've had peace since they took him. I still go to bed, think about him, wake up, think about him, pray. That's my first prayer.
Within the last 2 years, it's a detective's determination that's reignited this case.
He gave us some hope.
Police say 9 years after Arlen's disappearance, his sister Joy Leonard was murdered by her husband Bob Leonard, who then killed himself. Now police plead for the public's input.
We've learned that they may have made some comments that may have been relevant to this investigation, but they're no longer with us, so we can't interview them. So the purpose of the media release was to find people who knew them.
A tip could be the tip of the iceberg.
Every little tiny bit might just bring him home, might just let me have peace. If he's dead, I would really like to know who did it and why.
Debbie yearns for any clue to find Arlen and answers. It's a mother's motive to move forward.
I haven't given up on Arlen, but I'm really ready to move on. I would like to still get to know my son if he's out there and he's alive. I'd like to know the man he became, but that's in God's hands now.
Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
If you have any information about this case, contact the Lincoln County Sheriff's Line at 636-462-6153. Developing tonight, a man drowned while swimming at Rockford Beach in Jefferson County. Rescue crews responding to that area just before 3:30 this afternoon. The man was last seen floating in the water before he disappeared. After searching for nearly an hour, crews found the man dead in the Big River. Investigators have not identified him. Today's drowning comes as safety is top of mind for authorities in Jefferson County. The popular beach closed for several weekends earlier this year. At least one other person drowned, and law enforcement had to respond to several other disturbances at that park. Overnight, a 7-year-old boy died in a head-on collision on I-70 in St. Charles County. The Missouri Highway Patrol says the child and 2 adults were traveling. They were going west near Wentzville when a wrong-way driver hit them. All 4 people were taken to the hospital. That's where the boy died. The wrong-way driver was arrested for suspicion of driving while intoxicated. There's new information tonight on the boat explosion that sent more than a dozen people to the hospital in the Lake of the Ozarks. A new crash report by the Missouri Highway Patrol shows 15 of the victims were from St. Charles County. 4 of them are minors. The explosion happened when someone was refueling the boat at the Millstone Marina.
It's important for boaters to remember that when you're refueling the vessel, the engine area needs to be ventilated. Fumes can quickly build up, and when you restart the boat, any spark can ignite the gas fumes in the air.
The victims' injuries range from minor to moderate. Highway Patrol is investigating. Tonight, local leaders are looking for solutions to gun violence. Just this past week, 3 children were shot in the St. Louis area, and 2 of them died. Today, volunteers for Women's Voices, Raised for Social Justice, were at the Cardinals Care Back to School event. They handed out free gun locks and took the time to show people how to use them.
Please lock your gun. You know, there are lots of children running around here today, absolutely adorable kids that deserve to have a right to get to adulthood.
There are several places across St. Louis and in the county where you can get gun locks for free. We have a list for you on KSDK.com under the As Seen on TV section. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a new bill that would hold gun makers accountable for what he calls unsafe marketing practices. The Firearm Industry Responsibility Act bans advertising guns to people under 18 and limits the kinds of imagery that can be used in those ads. It also allows people to sue manufacturers. Republicans warn this measure will face legal challenges.